We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. In this video, I'm going to go over some SBA EIDL updates very quickly and then go through some FAQs, and then we will end right there. But before I get started, if you're watching me right now on the live, give me a hashtag live in the comments. If you're here on the replay later on, give me a hashtag replay. I enjoy seeing you guys and making sure I help you guys get the funding you deservedly need. Now, if I haven't spoken to you, I will soon. I know I'm a little bit backed up, and I've said that in past videos, so I won't be repeating myself and being as specific about that. Now, let me get right into it. So the other day, I released a video on the SBA EIDL update, and I posted it on YouTube. So if you haven't watched that thoroughly, go and check that out. It'll cover everything like reconsideration, appeals, loan increases, and when to submit those so you can get it in on time and get the funding your business needs. And, you know, the SBA EIDL COVID-19 application is going to be expiring tomorrow. So whatever is left is left. I can't say exactly how much. We just know how much has been funded, over 300 billion. And I'm going to leave it at that. But we're nearing the end. And what is an alternative option for you? There are many of them. And that's where one of my questions that I want to answer that I've been getting heavily asked a lot of times is, hey, SBA doing loans again? Okay. Which one specifically? I know there are many of them. There's a different type of an SBA EIDL, but there are other types like the SBA 7A. You have the SBA 504. You have plenty of them that are still on the table, but there's the targeted advance. That's one of them. So that's one to consider. But I'm just speaking in more general sense that the application, the deadline to get that in would be tomorrow. And what is happening after, that'll be covered in the other video again. But an alternative option while you're waiting or you're getting declined time and time again, and I won't get into the decline process. I spoke about that in the last video more or less. But the question that I keep getting asked a lot of the time again, it's what's the alternative, Michael? What can I qualify? How does this work? And I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again. You have a lot of different things on the table. Depending on your qualifications, the industry, and so forth, you have things like a cash advance, a merchant cash advance. There's a hybrid version of that where you can get funding deposited in your account, same day instant approval, as much as 24 hours, 5 days, however long that may be, but it's super fast. And that's where you get deducted a future percentage of your credit card sales and even debit card receivables. They generally have higher interest rates, but if you find the right program, some of you have heard about programs out there like David Allen Capital Link and have gone through them to get quick funding. That's a route to go down. So make sure you refer to that, and I'll leave more information in the description if you're watching this later on YouTube, and I may add it here in the comment section. But you have a merchant cash advance, a hybrid of it with calculations on total payback, and certain rates and terms apply to that. And again, it depends on your qualifications, and I go over all of that and I show you all of it. You have other things like unsecured business term loans, which I've helped out plenty of people get. These are where they're longer interest rates. I mean, longer terms, meaning longer time to pay it back. But the downside of it is it's going to be a higher interest rate. And so you have to think about that. And that's one of the last options that I usually give people. Even before I give them an unsecured business term loan, it might even be a personal loan. It might be the best route for them to take. But you have the unsecured business term loans and even secured ones with collateral out there. Those are a few options on the table. And you would use a lump sum of cash that you can then use for bigger purchases, more payments, higher pricing and equipment, bigger projects you want to fund and need to fix and move forward. That's what it would be used for. The qualifications for those are usually a little bit higher. We're looking at bigger FICO credit scores in the 600 plus range. We're looking at annual revenues of 200,000 plus, and it depends on the type of program you would match up with, but they are out there. And the list goes on. You have equipment financing, you have even SBA loans like I've just mentioned, and the process of what's going on there. real estate financing if you're looking for those options. But there are plenty of them. And I just didn't touch on all. There's a business line of credit with companies out there like Blue Vine, ARF Financial, and Rapid Finance, Fundbox. That list will go on and on. I'll be here for hours talking about that for another time. Put that information again down below in the description. And it's never ending. There's a bunch more things I could mention, but those are very important ones. And so that's one of the questions I get asked, like, what is my alternative to an SBA EIDL, COVID-19? And so that's one of them. The targeted EIDL can be another one. It's not closed. You have the SBA 7A, 504 type of loan situation, and plenty of others that I just mentioned. If you want to learn more about how to get up to $25,000 same day instant approval with no interest rates, no collateral, and no hard credit checks, with as little as a 450 plus FICO, with only 5,000 plus monthly bank revenue coming in within each of the last 3 months, look down below in the description for that information so you can view more about it. And you can even get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding if you want to learn more about how to qualify for that. Make sure to refer to it. Now, to answer another question that a lot of people have been asking me is how fast can I pay off a loan or a cash advance? And will there be penalties, prepayment penalties specifically? So you can pay it off as fast as you would like. There are companies out there that do have prepayment penalties, but a lot of them don't. And if you pay it off earlier, great. And if you're, for specifically, let's say you're taking a cash advance and you want to withdraw more funds, you quote unquote want to treat it like a business line of credit in a way where, let's say you get 5,000 once, but then you pay it off fast, right? And you use that funds for what you needed it, and then you can receive funds time and time again. So then you take out another 5,000, and it'll benefit you that way. And so you got to look at it in that sense also, if you don't go for a business line of credit, and how that can be very beneficial as an alternative option. So thinking about how fast you can pay it off depends on you and your needs in your industry and what your situation is. Everybody will be different. A restaurant, a certain person who says, well, I need it to expand, may actually need more funding, and it may take more time to pay it back, as opposed to somebody who's like, I just need to purchase equipment very quickly, but I can pay this off in about 2 to 3 weeks, even less, up to 45 days, and then you're back on the horse again, getting more funding. So you can treat a cash advance in a way like a business line of credit, and even in some cases, a cash advance, you can get approved for more. So that's why I prefer that, minimal requirements, and so forth. So going to my third question here, how much time in business? That's a very common one. And so this will depend on the program, obviously, but if we're looking at time in business, we want to see at least, we can count in the amount of revenue coming in, but we want to see maybe 3 months, 6+ months, 4+ months. The reason that is because we want to verify bank statements at least up to 3, even 4, even 6 months, plus up to 12 months, depending on the type of program. And this is going to show verification of income. If we're not even accepting tax forms or anything like that, we can verify income with these bank statements and just seeing everything lines up. So when we think about how much time in business you have to factor in the bank statements that the underwriters and myself, the lenders, have to look at to make sure you're even a fundable business and we can trust you with the amount of money we can give you. So in a sense, that's a very common question, and it's a very obvious one, but I just wanted to put that out there. Now I have a few more. We'll go up to 5 here, and then we'll conclude in this video. And let me know too in the comment section down below, what do you need help with? Don't be shy. I'm an introvert too. I have trouble a lot of the times being like this on video. Prefer the video share screen. But let me know how I can help you, and I'll try to get back to you as fast as possible. So be as upfront with me about things, and I will be very upfront with you and very fast about things and help you getting funded. If it's the opposite, sure, I get it. But if you're still going around the corner way too much, I have other files and I have other people to help, and I can't always, come back and back. So think about that, energy and time. And so Another question I'm picking off of my list here. Let me look through some of them that I wrote down and I've been getting asked. Okay, so this one I've kind of answered in the past, so I'll just go ahead and say it again. What is the amount of funding you can receive? And to back this question up, people will say, I'll receive as much funding as I can get. And so you can receive as much as what you are doing already in revenue. So, what is your last month's amount? And the reason I sometimes ask that question is because we will base it off what your last month's was. And if we want to say, are you doing at least 5,000 or 20,000 plus per month within each of the last 3 months? We want to know that's congruent, and it is. And I'm asking, what is the last month's amount? Then that will also be in account. So let's say I'm asking you, are you doing 20,000 plus per month within the last 3 months? In other words, what is your last month's amount? So if you answered yes to the first one, you're doing 20,000 plus per month, great. And then the last month, you're like, I'm doing 35,000, then we'll take in consideration that last month and see how much you can get approved for. So generally speaking, if you're doing 5,000 plus per month and doing less than 20,000 plus within each of the last 3 months, you can get approved for about up to 75% of your monthly. And that's not only with cash advances, we're considering that with business lines of credit and other forms of methods. And it even comes down to equipment financing. Because we want to know how much revenue you're generating per month so that we can loan you at least 1 to 2x or how much you can get in that vehicle for funding. So take that into consideration. If you're doing 20,000 plus per month, generally you can get 1 to 2x your monthly. If you're in the trucking industry, I know there's an exception there. You have to be doing at least 35K, 50K plus per month within each of the last 3 months. Have 2+ years in business. We want to shoot around a 700 plus FICO, but even a little less we can work with. And even if it is lesser, we can try to work with that and get you approved for whatever we can get you, but don't always expect it to be the 1 to 2x because it's a very high risk industry. And for many of you who've been following me because you came in through some of that content, don't be repelled. Don't feel like you're left out. I mean, there are other options on the table, personal loans. And if you want to learn how to do things with personal loans and what you can qualify for there, I'll leave information down below in the description. But other ways of doing this is building, maxing out business credit cards and understanding how to build business credit through that direction. I'll leave more information of that down below. So one more question to answer to round up our 5. Let me choose here. Okay. So just recently I had a person ask me, what are the ways I can get this approved? Like what is going to hold me back for getting approved in other ways? So what is holding you back is 1, the revenue, 2, any bankruptcies, any kind of delinquencies, 3, any kind of default that shows up in the underwriting. You have at least 5 non-sufficient funds, but you don't want to have no more than 5 non-sufficient funds. You have negative days within each of the last 3 months if that shows up, and then the credit worthiness. If you don't have the right amount, then that can be factored in. So those are just some of the 5. Those are 5 of the many that can disqualify you. But just the requirements alone, if you read that, you'll know what to expect. So that's basically everything I wanted to cover in this video. I do appreciate your time for being here, and I know you're on your way. And if you can't get funding right this second, don't be PO'd, right? Pissed off about it, because it's a matter of building your bottom line, making sure your credit card profiles are up and standing, making sure you have a business checking account, online banking is set up, all these different types of information. It's very important for you to get funding online. And I know I didn't go into like the real estate financing side. We can do that at another time. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in this video. All right, guys. You guys have a happy New Year's Eve and a happy New Year's, and you'll likely be seeing me in the new year. All right.